Shea Winfrey may have been the top-rated quarterback in 2017. But is Winfrey overrated?
We'll see.
Without ever winning the big game, can we really consider Dakota Hughes an elite quarterback?
Let's find out.
I just want to be given the chance.
You were the pioneers that built women's football.
The opportunity to succeed. Or even to fail.
You are the league of their own.
Figure out what the you need to do mentally to be able to sacrifice everything for the girl next to you.
You better knock the shit out of her.
Put the hurt on them first. Keep them on the ground. Stick your foot on their throat.
LFL football night has arrived to Austin, Texas. Welcome inside the booth of LFL football night. An interesting matchup, and some would say a blockbuster type matchup. The Atlanta Steam and the Austin Acoustic. Let's talk Atlanta football first and foremost. The loss of Adrian Purnell from the lineup, the longtime strong safety tight end, lost to retirement this offseason. However, if you're an Atlanta fan, some exciting news. The signing of Christel the Ferrari Harris from longtime rival the Chicago Bliss. Although Harris not in uniform tonight, will be on June 16th versus Seattle. On the other side, the Austin Acoustic are coming in with a loss already under their belt. They lost to the Nashville Knights earlier this season. The good news, the entire Western Conference is 0-1 with the exception of Seattle. With that said, I welcome in my broadcast partner, Bobby Hugo. Now, Bobby, of Atlanta and Austin, is there a team facing a must-win type situation?
Well, you hate to use it this early in the season, but yes, it's a must-win situation for Austin. They play very competitive football against the elite teams, but the simple fact is they haven't won a game under head coach Mike Oliveira.
Now, when we're talking about Atlanta, I alluded to it earlier, the loss of Adrian Purnell, a consummate leader in that locker room. Now, you played at the highest level in the NFL. What is it like to lose a leader in the locker room?
Oh, it's huge. Purnell was one of the best leaders and players in the LFL. They had the quadruplets, quarterback Dakota Hughes, Lauren Ziegler, Dina Wachowski. They were a tight unit. It's big losing Purnell. But I really expect the native from Pittsburgh, Dina Wachowski, to step up. She's a tough girl, a great player. She's hard on the team, hard on herself, but she's going to fill that void.
Yeah, I like Dina Wachowski in that role for Atlanta. Let's talk about some Austin football here, okay? The big headline for Austin was their front line. They were dominated in the season opener versus Nashville. They felt good getting bigger up front with Steph McCormick coming back from injury, the signing of the Dowdy sisters, Brittany and Courtney. But through one game of football, as I said, they were really manhandled by Nashville.
They looked great on paper against Nashville. The Dowdy sisters, physical specimen, bigger than anybody on the line in the league, two bookends, but they played soft against Nashville. They have to step their game up tonight to have any shot.
We will see if the Austin Acoustic are finally in tune up front. For the Atlanta Steam, it's their worldwide debut. Say it with me, kickoff is next. Back to LFL football night in Austin, Texas. A great interconference matchup, the Austin Acoustic versus the Atlanta Steam.
We could be in for a shootout tonight. Two of the best quarterbacks in the LFL.
And Kendria Robinson deep. Fields it at about the 5-yard line. Good return out to about the 15 of Austin. And Robinson a little slow in getting up. She's one of the key members. They could ill afford to lose her. And that is Shea Winfrey, the 2017 top-rated quarterback. Had a rough start in Nashville.
The whole game plan in Nashville, it didn't work. They tried to run the ball. She's a great pocket quarterback. They didn't throw it all. Tonight, head coach Mike Oliveira said he's going to throw it a lot more. We'll have to see.
You saw there Kendria Robinson. We'll have to follow that, maybe get a sideline report, nursing that right knee. She's an integral part of the offense at running back and, more importantly, at safety, really anchoring that Austin defense.
Robinson has been proved to be a savage on both sides of the ball, on defense and on offense, and now returning kicks.
A 1st and 10 ball at the Austin 15-yard line. With an empty back set, this will be a quick screen. Out to Michelle Marshall, a 6-yard play. That's a good way. That really replaces the need for a running game for Austin. It's a way that they move the sticks.
But again, the mechanics on Winfrey aren't there yet. A quick screen like that, it was thrown behind Marshall. She had velvet hands and pulled it in. But her techniques we talked about in the opener against Nashville, they're not there yet.
Michelle Marshall, the featured running back in this offense in 2017. Although you could see their number 8, Rachel Washington, the rookie, will be the featured back in Mike Oliveira's offense. That is the handoff to Washington. A nice looking 11-yard run, and they're indicating a fumble here. We'll see if Austin gets this back.
What a play by number 10, Amber Clark. She came out of nowhere and stripped the football. Watch this. Great run, great burst to get to the hole, but watch number 10 come in the picture and just strip her of the ball, literally steal it from her.
That is an art we've lost in the LFL. We don't see a lot of defenders going after the football. Amber Clark doing a great job there, and an early turnover for this Atlanta defense.
Dane Robinson, one of the best defensive coaches in the LFL. He stresses that to all his players on defense. Try to strip it.
All right, Alabama left, RPO, zone block right on one. Ready, to the line.
That's Dakota Hughes, the veteran signal caller. And this is a quarterback you do not want to get a field position edge to. We've got a challenge here, so Austin might want to take a second look at this.
Correct.
Good challenge. It'll be interesting, though. I think it was a fumble.
Austin is challenging the ruling on the play of a fumble.
That is head referee Jason Gardner in his 3rd year. We'll get another look at this from the truck.
I believe she strips her before she hits the ground. Clark right there, it's out. It's totally out.
Yeah, you could see her backing it up. Let's see where that ball comes out. Is the knee down? No, there's the ball.
Not even close.
That is a fumble, a great strip by Amber Clark.
It might have been a wasted effort by Mike Oliveira challenging this early in the game.
You could see that sheepish look on the face of Mike Oliveira as we get the call.
After review, the ruling on the field has changed. First down, Austin at the 18-yard line.
Wow. I thought we saw that pretty clearly. Rachel Washington's knee was not down yet when that ball was stripped.
Jason Gardner, one of the veteran referees in the LFL, one of the best in the league, made a big blunder right there. That was totally a fumble. Wow, Atlanta, they gotta be hot.
So now, Tashay Winfrey in this Austin offense set up real nicely and getting a monster break early in this game.
What's going on? Whoa! What's going on? What's going on? Who's ball? Who's ball? Okay, awesome. Defense, go, defense. Hey, Cat Quilla.
I expected a more aggressive approach by Dane Robinson. He just accepted the fate that wasn't a fumble.
For clarification, the ruling on the field has changed. Austin football, 1st and 10 at the 18.
Wow, that is a blunder. Is it Christmas or what for Austin? They better capitalize on this because they were given a Christmas gift right there.
Now, before that fumble, Washington had a pretty good run, so a great start for the rookie, Rachel Washington.
Great run. She fumbled the football clearly, but they got it back.
A 1st and 10 at the Atlanta 18-yard line. That is Kendria Robinson in motion. Toss play. So Mike Oliveira showing some faith in Rachel Washington, going right back to her for a gain of 3 yards as we meet Austin's offense.
Kendria Robinson, wide receiver.
Ana Garza, wide receiver.
Courtney Dowdy, tight end. Brittany Dowdy, tight end.
Steph McCormick, center. Michelle Marshall, running back. Tashay Winfrey, quarterback.
The key tonight for Austin is the big uglies up front. Courtney Dowding, Brittany Dowding, and Steph McCormick. Can they protect their quarterback and open some holes tonight?
That front line having a little success early, opening up some gaps for Rachel Washington. Although that time a great open field tackle by Alfie Gore, limiting Washington to 2 yards on the carry.
I like what I see besides the fumble for Rachel Washington. Coach Oliveira liked what he saw in her during preseason. She was a defensive back last year, hurt her ankle, and he never had a chance to play her tailback. but so far, I love this burst she has.
A 3rd and 5 ball at the Atlanta 13. A little misdirection to Robinson. And that's a good sign for Austin fans. Kendria Robinson appears to be healthy and good enough for a 6-yard carry.
This could be a lethal combination with Robinson and Washington. Robinson is quick as a hiccup. They faked the toss, came back underneath with a trap. Another big play for this Austin offense.
That was a 6-yard carry. They needed 5. So that'll set up a 1st and goal. This offense looking much better early than they did against Nashville.
The game plan that Coach Oliveira told me, they're going to go away from Brittany Demery and they're going at Keon Harrison, and it's working great so far.
Look at Jessica Salazar shoot the gap. We were high on her watching her play last year. It looks like early on at least that she's elevated her game even more.
One of the top athletes out of Miami. Watch this play. She came in untouched and destroyed, blew up the backfield. Wow.
Now Salazar is listed at 5'8", 160. You can see her numbers in 2017. Very impressive. But she said her goal this offseason was just to trim down, and it's given her better lateral movement as a middle linebacker.
She came back in incredible shape, and it's showing already, and she's a weapon on the offensive side of the football too.
A near disaster for Austin. That's Valeria Quintaro. Not sure why she's in the backfield. Mishandled the toss. Nearly a fumble. That'll take us to our first break, and we've got a tied up ball game. Back to LFL football night in downtown Austin, Texas.
We're going to run the F-leak, okay? We're going to score right now on the F-leak. You're out.
What are you running?
We're going to run the F-leak.
That is head coach Mike Oliveira. Got to listen in there to the Austin huddle. A real complex offense. Ever since Chris Michelson retired, it is thought now the Austin scheme is just as good.
Well, he's running the RPO offense right now. Tashay Winfrey has a hard time picking it up. She can't audibilize like he wants her to.
Winfrey under center, ball at the 19 of Atlanta. They've got the wrong down and distance. It's actually 3rd and goal. Winfrey with a dangerous pass. That was nearly intercepted. Great pressure by Brittany Demery.
With an RPO offense, you have to make quick decisions. Right here, either throw it right now, throw it away, do not take the sack, and whatever you do, don't do this. That's a fumble right there. Do not do that at playing quarterback.
So now a 4th and goal. This offense keeps going backwards. That has been one of the things that have plagued Tashay Winfrey is her decision making.
Well, she looks like a rookie quarterback right there. She already gets sacked, she's getting pulled down, and she tries to make something happen by just throwing it up in the air. If you remember, last year she did that, got picked off for a pick 6 the other way.
Now a 4th and goal, ball at the 19. Austin's got to get this into the end zone. A crossing pattern. Had Kendria Robinson even caught that ball, she would have been well short of the goal line.
If she would have led her a little bit and kept it up off the ground, Robinson was in full stride. She might have taken it in. She was already flying past coverage.
Perhaps I missed that. I thought they were going to go into the end zone. Although I get your point, Robinson's a really quick running back. And then maybe they were trying to get her on that crossing pattern, as you said.
If you lead her a little bit, catch her in stride, she catches that, she's already flying past the secondary.
This is the second look at Dakota Hughes. We thought Atlanta was going to have the ball early in the first quarter after that Washington fumble, but that was ultimately reversed with the challenge. This is Hughes, a little pressure, evading it. Nice touch pass. That is the Dakota Hughes we know, complete to Lauren Ziegler.
Wow, Dakota Hughes being Dakota Hughes, back across her body, right in stride to Ziegler, who got behind CeCe McMillan. I don't know how she completed that pass. That is so hard to throw. What a play.
McMillan getting beat on the crossing pattern. And we've got our first penalty of the night. This may be a false start on Atlanta.
False start. Number 14 on Atlanta. 5 yards from the previous spot. Still first down.
Lauren Ziegler, that is rare for the veteran to jump like that. But going back to that play for Dakota Hughes, she threw that perfect. CeCe McMillan actually had great one-on-one coverage, but she put it in a perfect spot.
So ball backed up to the 24 of Austin after that Ziegler false start. Hughes from the shotgun, draw play. That is Tiandra Williams getting to the edge. A good-looking carry by the rookie running back. Now let's meet Atlanta's starters.
Dino Jowski, your center.
Jolie Fazakai, wide receiver.
Jessica Salazar, tight end. Brittany Dimry, tight end. Lauren Ziegler, wide receiver. Tiandra Williams, running back. Dakota Hughes, quarterback.
The key for Atlanta tonight is that running back, number 8, Tiandra Williams, the rookie in her first start. We thought it was going to be Crystal Harris, but Williams is here. So far, so good.
That is Dakota Hughes. She gives you that mobility as well. We talk about her arm, and rightfully so. She is a quarterback, and how good she is from the pocket, but we sometimes forget about number 18's mobility.
She can elude players. Mike Oliveira, the head coach of Austin, said she's the most elusive quarterback in the league, and he is really scared of all her assets and what she can do on the air, in the air, and on the ground.
I think undoubtedly the most complete quarterback in the LFL. A 3rd and 5, a little toss play. Lauren Ziegler not able to get by Kendria Robinson. And you could see Ziegler and Robinson talking about it.
What a tackle by Robinson, one-on-one, pound for pound, the best defensive player in the league. Watch this tackle against Lauren Ziegler, a Hall of Famer. Great form, square the body, and bring her down.
So now a 4th and 5. Kendria Robinson having a breakout rookie season. You could see 18 solo tackles. Don't judge her by her size. Now a 4th and 5. Dakota Hughes, and nearly intercepted by Kendria Robinson. So a great stop by this Austin defense.
Kendria Robinson, again, she's putting her fingerprints on everything on Atlanta tonight. Run stops, and that one, she peeled back underneath the coverage, almost picked it off. What a start for Kendria Robinson.
And you can see Robinson right back out on the field. We talked about her versatility. She's the one player they cannot have out of this lineup, as valuable as she is on both sides of the ball.
That's the kind of player that wants me to get back into coaching. You can do anything with her. Put her in the backfield, on defense, kickoff, anything in the name of football she can do.
And we'll see if Austin gets a playoff here. We're nearing the 10-second mark of the first quarter. A quarter that has been evenly matched up between Austin and Atlanta. They're going to go back to the rookie, Rachel Washington. A nice-looking 5-yard carry. And that should bring us to the end of the first quarter. A quarter where the Austin Acoustic have really rallied around their defense.
LFL Mobile, giving you access to the gridiron goddesses of the LFL with exclusive photos, videos, live game reporting, and fan promotions. LFL Mobile. Download on your Android or iPhone.
Back to LFL football night. We take you down to the field.
Listen to me. Kick out on the corner. Go pick up the corner on the sweep. We're going to crack, okay? You're the fullback. I want you to kick out on the corner, okay?
Keep executing. Razor call. Hey, once again, remember the equation. Run it or check it.
I really like what they're doing up on the front line for Austin. Coach Oliveira, he moved Brittany Dowdy over from left tackle to the right fullback position, right behind her sister Courtney. So you have two monsters on the right side, and they're attacking Keon Harrison, and she's on ice skates going back. She looks like Nancy Kerrigan.
2nd and 5, ball at the Austin 19, toss right to Washington, and blown up by Keon Harrison, but not before Washington picks up 9 yards.
Great tackle by Harrison, but it's 10 yards down the field because she's getting blown out up front. And Coach Mike Oliveira, he's got a wide open offense, but they can't stop this play. I think that's the 5th time they ran that play.
We talked about the need for Austin to play more physical up front. They're doing that with Steph McCormick and the Dowdy sisters, and now Lauren J, number 16.
They are destroying the front line of Atlanta right now. I can't believe this.
A 1st and 10, ball at the 22. That is a misdirection handoff. Kendria Robinson, another great run, this time for 9 yards again. If you're moving the ball like this, no need to really put the ball in the hands of Tashay Winfrey.
You don't have to. I am shocked the way this offensive line is playing. They are destroying the front right now. It's easy to play call. You run that same play to the right. You do the counter to the left to Robinson. She blows it open for 7 yards.
Robinson again slow in getting up, but on her feet. She doesn't have the size that a lot of these backs do. So you could see her. I don't know that she could take the wear and tear that these normal backs do.
But the combination of Robinson and Washington, they can take the wear and tear. Remember a couple weeks ago, Coach Oliveira said his plan was to put Stolte back there to have a big back. He went the opposite, has 2 scat backs, and it's working.
I think that also affords them the luxury of working those backs into the passing scheme. Brandy Stolte not really built for the passing tree. Now a 2nd and 1. This Austin offense really moving the ball. Another first down run. Going back to Washington for 7 yards.
Steph McCormick and the Dowdy sisters came to play tonight. This game plan is working to perfection. I can't believe Dane Robinson, the defensive specialist, hasn't made an adjustment and brought somebody over there.
You could see that Atlanta defense, Jessica Salazar and company, just breathing heavy. They were not expecting this offense to be on the field for this long.
In fact, they expected the opposite. They expected an air attack onslaught all night. We haven't seen any of that.
A 1st and goal at the Atlanta 6-yard line. Kind of a bunch set with one receiver, Leilani Lopez. They're going to go to the ground. Rachel Washington, the impressive rookie, getting in for the Austin touchdown.
Right before the play, one of the Dowdy sisters pointed to the left side of her butt because the defense was inside. She seals the outside. Look at that seal block. That opens up the outside for Robinson. Great teamwork right there.
We put the challenge out there to the Dowdy sisters to get more physical, and they responded.
Hey, I want to go trips right 14 quarterback. Who's missing over there? All right, give me a receiver. Give me a receiver. Give me a receiver. Go in. Go, 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 go. Go receiver. I got you. Good. Go.
A little disorganization there on the Austin sideline. I'm not sure what to play and what personnel to put in.
And that is it. They're going to call a timeout here. A lot of personnel flying in and out. You saw the confusion.
It's okay. We ran it in the past.
So that'll be Austin's 2nd and final timeout.
Toss right. They're going to play the ball control game and time of possession. Long, drawn-out drives and whatnot. You got to get on the outside line of scrimmage.
They weren't fucking ready for you all to be mad, okay? It's about damn time you all got pissed the fuck off. They were not ready for you all to be pissed off. We're going to run this shit down there and throw it all fucking night. Fuck that bitch. Let's go.
Brilliant game plan by Mike Oliveira. That's what we talked about. The first game, they were soft. They were monsters on the front line, but they played real soft. Tonight, it's a different team.
So now the extra point attempt. That is Kendria Robinson in the Wildcat formation. Looks like Austin is going for 1 here. We've got a penalty.
False start, number 6, Austin. 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat the try for 1 point.
At false start on wide receiver Leilani Lopez. So that'll back up the extra point attempt.
That play was there too. They had a trip set to the right, a wildcat with Robinson, stalk blocking on the outside. They would have walked in, but Leilani Lopez jumped.
1st and goal, ball at the 6 now. Same play. Robinson this time cutting it to the outside. Great pursuit by Dina Wojcicki.
I'm not sure why Robinson cut back. All 3 receivers in the trip set had their man blocked. It was great blocking. She stays outside, she scores. Watch the blocking up top. All 3 of them have their blocks, and she comes back the other way with 0 blocking and gets destroyed.
That goes with the territory. She is a converted defensive back that they're trying to give touches on the offensive side of the ball to.
Well, that's coaching too, exactly. She's new with the running back position. She played DB. She would have seen as a running back, she had all her blocks. She could have walked in the end zone.
Now a 1st and 10. Dakota Hughes surprisingly having the play from behind here. They're going to hand it off to Tiandra Williams. Again, Robinson on the tackle.
Robinson all over the field. They're using her for everything. I mean, I don't blame Mike Oliveira. She can play.
The 5'3", 134-pound defensive monster from Mercedes, Texas.
She is the only Cadillac I know that came out of Mercedes, Texas. She can play the game of football, a baller.
A 2nd and 7. This time Hughes from the shotgun, able to draw offside the Austin defense. Tiandra Williams, a 14-yard carry. I tell you what, Williams is looking pretty good in place of Christelle Harris.
Right now, you're not even worried about the Ferrari in the backfield.
Encroachment on the defense. That penalty is declined. Play results on the first down.
So they're going to decline the penalty as Austin's defense jumped. Let's meet their starters.
Cece McMillan, corner. Marisa Golston, lockdown corner. Kendra Robinson, strong safety.
Megan Martinez, safety.
Valeria Quintero, linebacker.
Brittany Dowdy, defensive end. Courtney Dowdy, defensive end.
One of the keys tonight, Cece McMillan. Coach Oliveira thinks she's the best in the league at cornerback. Can she stay with Lauren Ziegler?
That is something Atlanta was trying to do. They've got to find a connection between Dakota Hughes and the free agent wide receiver, Jolie Efezikai.
Efezikai at 6'1", going against the 5'3" DB. Dakota Hughes made the right choice. Efezikai couldn't get separation. It's on the wide receiver.
So a 2nd and 10. Austin surprisingly leading this game 6-0, but certainly not an insurmountable lead for this offense, specifically number 18. Little shovel pass to the outside to Williams. That'll be a gain of 4 yards. Brittany Dowdy on the tackle.
Dowdy was on the tackle, but that play was created by Robinson again. She came up and blew up Lauren Ziegler, which destroyed the entire play for not much of a game. Again, Robinson in on everything.
Robinson taking up 2 Atlanta blockers, and that really eats into this run scheme. A great first half for number 4 thus far. A 3rd and 6, nearing the 5-minute mark. Hughes on the outside. That looked to be intended for Jolie Efezikai, and Williams and Efezikai were in the same passing lane.
Somebody was wrong there, you're right. You can't have 2 routes in the same area, and she threw a bullet that neither of them can catch. Atlanta looking sloppy right now.
I want to go to a point we made earlier on in this season through the first 4 weeks. There is no preseason football in the LFL, and keep in mind, this is the first time Atlanta's been on the field in 2018.
And they did not expect that front line on both sides of Austin to punch them in the nose like they're doing right now.
And that is a 4th and 6 stop by this Austin defense. So we've seen this defense bend through one half of play, but they haven't broken yet.
I think to go along what you were talking about, Atlanta didn't come prepared to play this Austin team. They came prepared to play the Austin team that hasn't won a game under Coach Oliveira.
I love the scheme. They're dropping defenders in those zones. They've studied film on Atlanta, and the passing game is not working.
Not at all. Atlanta's offense is out of sync. And on the other side, they studied Atlanta's defense. They saw the weakness, and they're going after it.
Austin's offense electing again to stay on the ground to Washington. An 8-yard carry. Boy, when you pick up 8 yards on first down, it really opens up your offensive scheme.
She has all the skills, all the making of a great LFL running back. She read the block of Dowdy again, made a jump cut quickly to the right for a big gainer again.
What we talked about at exhaustion was the need for a power back here in Austin. They may have answered that question with a scat back.
2 scat backs and a great front line now. Atlanta right now is on their heels. They don't know what to do.
Finally, that Atlanta defense stepping up. That is Keon Harrison.
I think Harrison was just tired of getting blown away by the line. She finally said, I have skills too, and made a great play.
Now the architect for this Austin offense is Mike Oliveira. We visited with him.
Having not won a game yet, yeah, that's a lot of pressure on me. But I'm taking the pressure on my shoulders, so it's off of the players. They're still hungry. They still have fire. It's about getting the right combinations and hunting the win and never giving up on that. Never quit the fight. I have fighters on my team, and we will get that win. We will get that win.
That's why he's one of the finest coaches in the LFL. He doesn't stop believing in his team. His team has talent, but he knows more than anybody they have to win a game first to get up with these other teams.
A 3rd and 2 carry by Washington, gaining 5 yards once again, moving the sticks for this Austin offense.
You would think Dane Robinson would have made some kind of adjustment. They keep running the same exact play over and over, and it's successful every time.
1st and 10, ball at the Atlanta 23. And this Atlanta defense has got to stop the bleeding. That's a good start again by Keon Harrison. Number 11, the only one doing anything defensively.
They're getting fired up now, but if the back would have made the right move outside, that could have been a touchdown. She stayed inside where the block was going on, and she got stuffed.
Washington still learning the position. This is her first full-time work in the backfield, as Austin has finally gone away from Michelle Marshall and seemed to be dedicated to Washington here.
Washington playing like an all-fantasy player tonight. Let's see if she can keep it going right now.
That'll take us to the 2-minute warning here in Austin, Texas. The hometown. Austin Acoustic looking impressive, up 6-0. Back to LFL football night. Let's go to the Atlanta huddle.
But you got to work for it. They're just chipping away and playing the ball control game, all right? We got to do something about it, all right? We need to step up here.
After that, let's go.
In pregame, we mentioned Adrian Purnell. What would the loss of her, how would it affect this team? So far, I think it totally affected this defense. They're going right at the weakness where Purnell would have been.
We talked about a leader stepping up. Usually that's Dina Wojciechowski, but we're not really seeing that. In fact, Wojciechowski's not even out on the field. An inside handoff to Robinson. A good tackle coming up from the corner position is Amber Clark.
Clark did not go for the fake. The counter came underneath the Robinson, but Robinson still got 5 yards on that play.
Setting up a 3rd and 2, ball at the Atlanta 15. It just seems like Austin has been on the field the entire first half of this game.
Brilliant coaching, and the execution by the players in the front line is 100% opposite of how it was in Nashville.
A 3rd and 2, ball at the Atlanta 15. That front line of Austin playing really well tonight. This is Winfrey rolling right, a dangerous pass. Although it was completed to Brittany Dowdy. That was a time we saw a little bit of touch and placement by Tashay Winfrey. We haven't seen that this season.
The throw was great. Dowdy, being a rookie, she didn't look where the sticks were. She needed 2 yards. Instead of getting 2 yards and then turning out where you get the first down, she's a yard short.
Still a very manageable 4th and 1 here. And Austin does not have any timeouts. As the clock nears the 52nd mark, a key 4th and 1, and that is Washington. A wide open gap on the right side. A 4-yard carry and setting up a 1st and goal for this offense.
This crowd here in Austin has not seen a running game like this since Ricky Williams played at the University of Texas. They are destroying Atlanta right now.
A 1st and goal. We are under 30 seconds, and this Austin offense is out of timeouts. A 1st and goal handoff. That is number 3, Dominique Jennings. As the clock continues to run, Austin's got to show some urgency here. And wait a minute, we've got a timeout down on the field. And Austin was out of timeouts. Is this Atlanta calling a timeout? Yeah, indeed. Atlanta chose to call a timeout here.
Unbelievable. That's 2 bad mistakes by Dane Robinson, the head coach.
Hey, our goal is to help our offense. We got to kick them out of the end zone here. Do you accept that challenge? Yes. Do you accept that challenge?
Yes. The only thing he did there is help out the Austin offense, not his team. Gave him more time on the clock. They have more time to call the right play and get in the end zone.
That was puzzling, to say the least. The clock was running down on this offense. This gives them renewed life. A 2nd and goal, ball at the 14. Rolling left, Winfrey complete into the flat. Very smart there. Lauren Jake getting out of bounds and stopping the clock.
They haven't showed that naked bootleg the whole game. They threw it. It wasn't open, but she got out of bounds to stop the clock. They got to throw it in the end zone now, I believe.
Going back to that Dane Robinson Atlanta timeout, Austin really had one more opportunity if Atlanta didn't stop it. Now they've got possibly 2 more shots into the end zone.
They gave them such an advantage now. They're going to have more opportunities to score points, and I just don't understand it.
To Shea Winfrey under center. Leilani Lopez flanked to the left side. They're going to fake the handoff. Look to Lopez. Great pressure off the edge. That was number 1, Quilla Franklin. That'll set up a 4th and goal for this Austin offense.
It's acoustic right. Run 37.
This is what you can't have right now. Communication problem between the head coach, the offensive coordinator, and quarterback. It's the wrong formation.
So a 4th and goal.
No! It's acoustic right!
Mike Oliveira livid on the sideline. All kinds of miscommunication between Tashay Winfrey and Oliveira. This should be the final play, and a dangerous pass into the flat. Falls incomplete.
Right. Yes. Look at 37. It's acoustic right. Lonnie goes vertical. We get a corner and an arrow.
Mike Oliveira still explaining his offense to his starting quarterback, and that'll bring us to halftime. A half that has seen this Austin team rebound, both offensively and defensively. Back with halftime festivities after this.
It's fucking bullshit.
We're in a dogfight. You better wake up, Atlanta's team. You better wake the fuck up. Right now. That 1% is lacking somewhere, and it's in that execution.
We welcome you back to LFL Football Night. A challenging first half for the Atlanta Steam as Austin's on top 6-0. Mitch Mortaza and Bobby Huco. Now, Bobby, looking at this game on paper, I think we both expected more offensive fireworks. We didn't get that in the first half, although Austin has a sound game plan, it looks like. But Atlanta, they're struggling. I think they're really missing the services of free agent running back, Christelle Harris.
Well, Christelle Harris, she would always help, but I'm not sure how much. The rookie sensation, Tiandra Williams, she already has 22 yards on 3 carries for an average of 7.3 per carry. But the big disappointment was Atlanta's passing game. Dakota Hughes, only 2 out of 6 for 16 yards. It wasn't there in the first half.
Now, is anything surprising you for Austin from a standpoint besides their improbable halftime lead? Anything else within their scheme surprising you?
Well, the run game is awesome right now. Rachel Washington, she is tearing it up. 14 carries, 63 yards, and a touchdown in the first half. That is the big surprise of the first half.
Yeah, that's the kind of production you notice throughout a full entire LFL game, not one half of football. Washington did account for the only score of the first half. As we look at it here, a 5-play, 36-yard drive, capped with this 6-yard touchdown round to the house by Rachel Washington. That brings us to our halftime score of 6-0 as we look at the halftime stats.
Again, what really sticks out is the rushing game for Austin. 67 yards behind Rachel Washington already.
Austin may very well continue to ride their horse, Rachel Washington. Or will Dakota be Dakota and rally the Atlanta Steam? The second half kickoff is next. Back to LFL Football Night as we look at our 2 starting quarterbacks.
If you're a fan of Atlanta, you can't be happy. The high-flying offense with Dakota Hughes, 2 out of 6 for only 16 yards in the first half. And for Austin, Tashay Winfrey, where you simply didn't need the passing game the way the running game was working.
That is Aubrey Williams with a nice high deep kick. That'll be returned by Lauren Ziegler. Ziegler getting out to about the Atlanta 12 and taking a little ride on the back of Lauren J. So Atlanta, what do they have to do here in the second half?
Well, first, this is what they have to do. They have to ride Austin like a Texas Longhorn and score some points.
Dakota Hughes finding herself down in this game 6-0. I think everybody anticipated that this offense would have greater success, even without Christelle Harris, against this Austin defense.
Right, and I think the Austin defense, they expected to see either Harris or Brittany Demery, who's now playing line, and they got neither one of them. They have Williams playing running back.
Tiandra Williams, nice looking 10-yard run to start the half. We don't know much about Tiandra Williams. We can see she's physically gifted, but you wonder if she is just a Band-Aid for Christelle Harris.
Everybody's a Band-Aid for Christelle Harris. One of the greatest runner, probably the best runner we've ever seen in the LFL. She's going to play.
And Williams loses the ball. Apparently we gave her too many accolades too early. That started out being a great looking run, but got stripped. That looked like maybe Megan Martinez got in from the safety position and stripped the football.
Looked like Brittany Demery came up with it somehow, but you're right, they made a great play on the ball.
And they're gonna say Atlanta recovered. So for the moment, Tiandra Williams is out of the doghouse.
Williams has a great motor, knows how to get to the hole, has to tuck it away. You can see space between the body, but right there, ball comes out. Demery luckily comes up on it. But Demery, like I said, Austin expected to see Demery as the running back because she physically destroyed this team last year as a running back.
Demery certainly has the size, but that was impressive running by Tiandra Williams and ball security throughout until the very end. Martinez taking advantage, but ultimately Atlanta holding on to it, and they're going to hand it off to number 12, Jessica Salazar. Salazar also played some time at running back last season.
Defensive coordinator Roderick Green, he scouted that play out last year. They broke it for some big gainers and touchdowns. They got 5 yards there, but so far, no big scores off that play.
2nd and 5. We haven't seen Dakota Hughes really open it up, with the exception of that one go pattern to Jolie Fezekai that fell incomplete in the first half. They're going to go back to Williams. Williams looking good here early in the second half. That was a 6-yard carry, setting up a 1st and goal. This is the best we've seen Atlanta's offense look.
Solid running play, following Lauren Ziegler's block and Wojo inside. She found daylight and got a big gainer. You're right, though. I am very surprised with the talent, the arm talent that Dakota Hughes has, not throwing the football.
Tiandra Williams is having success, so I don't know if you want to go away from that, especially down here inside the red zone. A 1st and goal at the 6. A toss right. They're going to stay with Williams. Good ball security. Hanging on to it this time and gaining 5 yards.
She runs like a great running back. Again, Lauren Ziegler, the lead blocker, made an outside block. She kicked underneath and got 5 more yards.
So now the ball down at the 1-yard line. You knew this Atlanta offense was eventually going to hit its stride.
They look good right now without passing it. At halftime, Dane Robinson, I'm sure, got all over them for being down 1 touchdown to Austin.
And talk about a cool cookie. Dakota Hughes, never fazed by the moment, has her team inside the 1-yard line. Handoff, Lauren Ziegler. How about the effort of Kendria Robinson, outsized by Ziegler and just dragging her down to the ground.
You gotta love that. Kendria Robinson getting greasy, talking trash to the LFL Hall of Famer Lauren Ziegler. She's not scared of anybody.
For her size, she plays a lot larger than her frame.
She plays unbelievable, great football. I love the fact she's not scared of Ziegler. Everybody else is.
Now a 3rd and goal, ball at the Austin 2. That was a loss of a yard by Lauren Ziegler. We'll see if Dakota Hughes can punch it in here. Nice play action, wide open.
Let's go!
That is Brittany Demery, and she really sold this play.
Wow, Arriba, uno, dos, tres, piñata, knocked the piñata out. What a play. Wide release, nobody out there, Demery scores. Arriba.
Dakota Hughes, it seemed like this is the spark this offense needed. They were playing a bit of a funk in the first half, and with this drive, a consistent 7-play, 38-yard drive that was capped by that play-action pass to Brittany Demery.
This is what they do. They have one of the strongest offenses in the LFL. They're doing it on the ground, and they can do it during the air, too. This is scary for Austin.
And that is the extra point conversion by Tiandra Williams. So if nothing else, when Christelle de Ferrari Harris returns on June 16th versus Seattle, they know they have a very capable back in Tiandra Williams.
Williams can play, no question about it. That combination with the Ferrari, that's going to be tough for any team to stop. But that's the old Atlanta Steam offense we're used to seeing right there.
Tashay Winfrey and the Austin offense go back to work. They had some success in the first half. This will be a 1st and 10 from the 15. From the shotgun down the field. They were attempting to connect with Kendria Robinson. And now we got a bit of fisticuffs. That is Robinson and Alfie Gore going at it near the goal line.
Alfie Gore just did like a headlock driver on Robinson. I've never seen that move outside the WWE. Wow.
How about the energy that number 4 brings to the field? Neither her nor Alfie Gore willing to step down, and they got into it.
What up, bitch? What up, bitch? Bitch! What up? What up?
Kendria Robinson has the same personality as a stick of dynamite, but what she does not want to do is piss off a sleeping bear, which I think she did with Alfie Gore. Alfie Gore is coming at her. This whole team of Atlanta is fired up right now.
A 2nd and 10. Kendria Robinson. I tell you what, if there was one player that I would start a roster with in this league, I think I can make a pretty good case for number 4.
There's no question. She's a plug-in player. You can put him in any position, probably even quarterback, but she is guaranteed to fire up your team.
A 2nd and 10, ball at the Austin 15. Winfrey in the shotgun, dropping back. Nice pocket, now rolling left. Looking for a receiver and connecting. That is Leilani Lopez, who had 3 touchdowns versus Nashville. Been quiet most of this game.
We've been waiting for this all night long. Salazar came in too steep on her angle to the quarterback, and then Winfrey drops it in a bucket over the outside shoulder on a corner pattern to Lopez. What a play for Austin.
Leilani Lopez, the playmaker. Let's visit with her.
With this being my 3rd season, I'm definitely comfortable. I know the field. I know my position to the best of my abilities, and it's just utilizing everything that I have. I've always had it in me to score, and that's what I'm going to keep doing.
That shows you right there the dangerous passing game Austin has. Leilani Lopez, one of the best athletes ever to come out of San Diego, showing her stuff against Atlanta.
So Austin set up well inside the 6 of Atlanta, and they're going to try to regain this lead. Inside handoff. That going to Rachel Washington, limited to 2 yards.
It looked like Dane Robinson adjusted his defense finally, put a lot of people in the box. There's nothing there for the running back.
So now a 2nd and goal. This is a great game. You know, we thought it would be a monster matchup when we saw it on the schedule, and it's playing out.
Well, it shows you what kind of competitor Tashay Winfrey is. Atlanta scores a touchdown. She comes right back and throws a dart, a bomb, and gets them in scoring position.
Ball now at the Atlanta 4-yard line. Fullback set, barely gets the ball off to Rachel Washington. Washington salvages a yard carry, setting up a 3rd and goal.
This is definitely a heavyweight bout right now. They're just punching each other. Both teams are fired up. You think Austin's going to go in, and Atlanta's defense finally gets tough.
Both defenses have given up a lot in between the red zones, but down here, closer into the goal line, they've stiffened up.
I have a feeling that Atlanta, they're in a fight that they didn't think they're going to be in tonight against Austin. After watching that Nashville tape, this is an entirely different team.
So now a 3rd and goal inside the 2-yard line, going back to Washington. And that defense converging, led by Quilla Franklin and Jessica Salazar.
Great play by Franklin, but the first time all evening we're saying that Dowdy did not block right. Watch, she misses her block. Courtney Dowdy, she's supposed to peel back, get the first one coming in, and she completely whiffs. Nobody there to help her running back out.
Aquila Franklin, who just got beat by Leilani Lopez on that 29-yard completion, makes a touchdown-saving tackle.
Austin has to score here. They cannot give up or get out of here without any points.
Ball now at the 5 of Atlanta. That's Leilani Lopez in motion. And Winfrey cannot get outside. Alfie Gore still reeling from that fist fight, getting to Tashay Winfrey and this defense with a great goal line stand.
Alfie Gore, you're right. She's playing like Titus O'Neil now after that wrestling match with Robinson. She's possessed right now, throwing her helmet around. Different Alfie Gore than we saw in the first half.
But she has to go in motion, drag with an A-drag throwback. Now, you got to get out from under the center because they're in the gap.
Mike Oliveira still coaching up his young quarterback, Tashay Winfrey. This offense has left some points on the field. We saw it happen before the first half, and again there.
You couldn't see it on the replay, but she had an open receiver in the end zone if she gets the ball off.
That was Leilani Lopez running past the defense, but Winfrey had no time. And as a result, Atlanta back out on the field. That was Jessica Salazar with a nice 5-yard carry.
Great 5-yard gain, but they did let it pop for a score. That play can pop for a big gainer. Austin's containing them so far.
Atlanta in no hurry. They're just preserving that 1-point lead. With these two offenses, they can strike from anywhere on the field. Now a 2nd and 5. Dakota Hughes back to pass over the middle. And just beyond the outstretched arms of Jolia Fezekai.
I'm really impressed by the play of Marissa Goldston. Here it is, one-on-one with a Fezekai who's 6'1". She doesn't get any separation on Goldston. There's nowhere for Dakota Hughes to throw the football.
While we were away for the replay, there was a flag on this play. That is head referee Jason Gardner discussing it with his crew. Early indication would be this could be on Atlanta, which would back him up.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on the Atlanta bench. That penalty will be assessed after the down, half the distance to the goal, 3rd down.
In a tight game like this, you can't have that. You have to have some priorities on the bench. You can't yell at the officials. You don't yell at the players. Dane Robinson needs to control that team more.
Not sure what happened there, but clearly someone on that Atlanta bench got under the skin of head referee Jason Gardner. Now we've got another flag. This could be a false start on Atlanta. This offense is really going backwards.
False start, number 14 on Atlanta, half the distance to the goal, 3rd down.
Lauren Ziegler, surprisingly, that's her 2nd penalty of the night. They're going backwards.
A 3rd and 19, again over the middle. And not able to hold on is Lauren Ziegler.
Wow, that's a game changer right there. It ended up hitting her in the chest. And of all people, Ziegler couldn't bring it in. Watch the pass by Dakota Hughes on the money. CeCe McMillan tries to cut under, almost picks it off, but Ziegler could have gone for 6 if she held on.
I think CeCe McMillan did just enough to throw off the concentration of Lauren Ziegler. And now Atlanta electing to punt the ball. If you're backed up inside your own 10-yard line on 4th down, you can elect to punt. And certainly in a tight game like this, field position is everything. That is Lauren Ziegler with the punt, a nice deep high punt. And they're going to call it down for some reason. Kendria Robinson was back to receive that punt. We'll get the call here from Jason Gardner again. A busy 3rd quarter here for our head referee.
Illegal substitution on Atlanta. Half the distance to the goal. Replay 4th down.
Miscommunication by Dane Robinson and his team. Half the team thought the quarterback, Dakota Hughes, was still on the field and she was on the sideline because they called for a punt with Ziegler kicking it.
We've seen a lot of personnel issues on both sides tonight, and that could cost Atlanta. Again, Ziegler with the punt. This one a little uglier, but takes a nice bounce. Robinson trying to field it back at the 5-yard line and trying to look for a lane. Colliding.
Get the fuck up! Let's go! Let's go! Get the fuck out of here!
Lauren Ziegler still fired up about dropping that football. Let's listen in.
Wow, sometimes you don't have to see a hit, you just have to hear it. What a hit. They're playing football right now.
And you see CeCe McMillan getting in the face of Keon Harrison. These two are getting after each other. We still have a quarter left, but you start to sense that both teams are understanding the urgency of the moment. For Austin, they're already 0-1. They cannot afford to drop to 0-2. And for Atlanta, they got to keep pace in the Eastern Conference.
I've never seen Lauren Ziegler that upset. She dropped a potential touchdown pass, almost got in a fight. This became a street fight.
Now a 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line. This is Tashay Winfrey buying time in the pocket, nearly throwing an interception to Amber Clark, and that would have been 6 the other way. That should bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter with two heavyweights, an interconference matchup with Atlanta up 7-6.
We got 10 more minutes, and we gonna whoop their ass the last 10 minutes. Look to the girl next to you and fight for your life. Fight for the girl who's sitting next to you in this huddle right now. Give it everything you have, because all we got is 10 minutes. That's all we got. Give it everything you have. Fight on 3. 1, 2, 3, fight!
From darkness to hopefully light, we welcome you back to LFL Football Night. The house lights are still down here in Austin, but that was Dakota Hughes inside that Atlanta huddle, encouraging this team to hold on. She knows what's at risk here, Bobby Hugo.
Was that Dakota Hughes or Tom Brady? I got chills listening to that speech. That is football at its best and leadership at its best in the LFL.
I'm just excited about this 4th quarter. These are two teams not willing to give up an inch. Now we'll see if Austin's offense can respond. A 2nd and 10 backed up at its own 11-yard line. A big test here for Tashay Winfrey.
Be interesting if they stick to the game plan and the running game, which got them there.
Winfrey under center, gonna hand it off to the horse. That is Rachel Washington. And if not for the tackle of Amber Clark, number 8 would still be running.
Just like the great running backs, she made like she was going inside. The defense came inside, boom, she does a jump cut outside for big yardage.
So a 1st and 10 after that 14-yard run by Rachel Washington. And to this point, I think she's been the game MVP thus far.
There's no doubt she's having an unbelievable night, and all because of the blocking up front led by the Dowdy sisters. What a night for all of them.
A 1st and 10. Ball at midfield, a lot of time remaining here in the 4th quarter, and that's a fumble. That was a dangerous toss to Rachel Washington. That nearly could have been disaster for this Austin offense.
The pitch was there, the focus was not. She would start running before she caught the football. Again, it's her first game starting at running back. You're gonna see that stuff.
I think the good news for Austin, they may have identified finally a franchise-type running back in Rachel Washington. Now a 2nd and 12 ball at the Austin 23. Winfrey remains under center, handoff again to Washington. You know what, this offense is really not that deceptive. Winfrey tends to be under center when they're focusing on the run game and drops into the shotgun in the passing game.
Right, and all night long, they're not even trying the passing game unless they need big yardage. They're gonna pound it right at you with this running game until you stop it. And we mentioned it again, Adrian Purnell for the first time not playing for Atlanta, and it's showing.
And going back to the Austin side, I think the ailment for an inaccurate quarterback that doesn't have her confidence yet is to provide this, a running game. That is Kendria Robinson with a 7-yard carry.
Robinson and Washington, for sure, they have to buy dinner for the offensive line. Again, watch the blocking. Put a hat on somebody, you're going to open up holes. Then it's the running back's job to get through them, and they're doing it all night long.
Again, the challenge was put out to the front offensive line of Austin, namely Steph McCormick, Brittany Dowdy, and Courtney Dowdy. They've responded tonight.
They responded, and you got to hand it to Coach Mike Oliveira for having the guts after that terrible game against Nashville to stick with the running game.
An opportunity for this Atlanta defense on a 4th and 3. Kendria Robinson again doing it on both sides of the field, and that'll be enough for an Austin first down.
Basic football, toss sweep, but look at the blocking. Everybody's blocking somebody. She reads the hole, finds daylight, and gets the first down.
Nobody even touches Robinson until she's 5 yards down the field. I don't think we can stress this enough. Adrian Purnell, missing from that defense, is showing its ugly head tonight. A 1st and 10, handoff to Robinson. Make that Washington. That was good for 7 yards, but we did see a flag fly in. And this looks to be potentially on Austin.
Watch the blocking at the point of attack. You're following Steph McCormick, then you had the lead blocker, Dowdy, and there's huge holes up front.
Jason Gardner still debating with his crew. Could this be offsetting, but they're consulting with the Austin bench here. They're going to look to maybe back them up. I think you take the yardage here, obviously. Talking it over with head coach Mike Oliveira.
Hey, give me the 8 yards.
And he wants them backed up or taking the run here.
Encroachment on the defense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 2nd down.
Yeah, it's simple math. Do you want 5 yards with the encroachment penalty, or do you want 7 yards with the Washington run?
I think I would take the 7.
That Florida education of Bobby Huco is peaking here in the 4th quarter. A 2nd and 3 ball at the 7. And that looked like Austin jumped. That was Brandy Stolte.
False start, number 17, Austin. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
She giveth and taketh away. The 5 yards they just gained on the encroachment, they give right back with that Stolte false start.
This late in the football game, under 7 minutes left, a veteran like Stolte, you just cannot jump. You have to be disciplined.
Stolte was the starting center, then had some kind of an Achilles injury. So Steph McCormick back, Stolte getting limited time. Showing with that false start, we've got another penalty. That was a handoff to Washington, only going for 2 yards. So a lot going on here for Jason Gardner and this officiating crew. They seem to kind of be walking this toward Atlanta. So if that's an indication, this should be on the steam.
Encroachment, number 11, Atlanta. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
That's the 2nd encroachment penalty on Atlanta on this drive. That one to Keon Harrison.
Keon Harrison, they've been focusing on her. The game plan was to go right at her. She got a little anxious there, but it helped out Austin a lot.
So a 2nd and 3. That Harrison offside or encroachment penalty wipes out the earlier false start by Brandy Stolte. A toss play again to Washington, and look at that speed. Did she get in the end zone?
I like referee Jason Gardner a lot, but I just question his eyesight. This should be a touchdown. Watch, she cuts outside, Burtwell comes in, usually a short tackler. She's not out of bounds, she's allowed to keep going. That should be a score.
Cetrice Fox Birdwell just gave up on that play. Very lucky for her that the officials called Washington out at about the 3-yard line.
That's the 2nd bad call by the refs. Early in the game, when the fumble, they gave back to Austin when it should have been Atlanta's ball, and now this.
A 1st and goal ball at the 3-yard line. A golden opportunity here for Austin. Handoff! Touchdown, Austin!
The Acoustic making this look easy. Look at the blocking up front, the lead block, the holes there. Another touchdown for Austin. Now can they hold on? Wow.
This has been a back and forth game with both defenses for the most part playing really well. Atlanta kind of shot itself in the foot on that drive defensively with several encroachment penalties.
I just can't believe Dane Robinson didn't make a major adjustment trying to stop that play. The same play they've been running all night long.
Now from the Wildcat, that is Kendria Robinson trying to get to the edge. And this time that Atlanta defense coming up, led by Amber Clark. That will take us to a media timeout here in Austin, Texas, with the Austin Acoustic rallying and taking the lead.
Hey, you got a fucking tackle. What is this pushing shit? Right out! You're better than that!
Back to LFL football night. That is Atlanta Steam head coach Dane Robinson simply laying into Fox Birdwell.
That's the most anger we've seen out of Coach all night long. I think he finally realized he came into a beehive here in Austin. They got a chance to lose this football game.
I'm still astonished at the lack of effort by Fox Birdwell there. Nonetheless, the Atlanta offense back out on the field. Making some moves in the open field is Tiandra Williams. That has been one of the bright spots for this Atlanta team.
Their running game looks solid. If she would have kept that outside, it could have been a huge gainer. She came back in. Still a big gainer, though.
Vision is something you don't see from these young backs. We haven't really seen it from Rachel Washington nor Tiandra Williams, both making their first LFL start.
When they watch it on film, that's when you learn. Keep it outside, go where the play's supposed to go.
2nd and 5, Brandy Stolte all over Tiandra Williams.
Stolte came down hard and stopped the play. That's what they need to do. Let the clock keep running under 4 minutes. We got a barn burner.
Stolte made a name for herself last year. When Steph McCormick, the center, went down, Stolte stepped in, played with a broken arm, and now with the return of McCormick, they've moved her to the defensive side of the ball, coming up with a big stop there. That'll set up a 3rd and 4. Ball at the 21, another toss play. Tiandra Williams getting to the edge. A nice looking 4-yard carry. That should be enough for an Atlanta first down.
That was the same play they used early in the game when they brought her in motion. Kendria Robinson came up and blew it up. That time, Robinson stayed back, and you see what happens? It's a big gainer for Atlanta.
This Steam squad has a lot of time, over 3 minutes and 2 timeouts, so no rush here. I would look to see if they stay to Tiandra Williams. No, Dakota Hughes back to pass to the corner of the end zone. Another drop touchdown, this time by Jessica Salazar.
Salazar not having a great night tonight. You have to make this catch.
Encroachment, number 17, Austin. 5-yard penalty, replay, first down.
Dakota Hughes again for the 2nd time. Should have had her 2nd touchdown pass of the night on the money to Salazar, and she simply dropped it.
Hughes' receivers doing her no favors tonight. Otherwise, she'd have pretty good numbers.
They might have this game in the bag, but that's 2 drops.
Dakota Hughes back under center. This time they're going to go to the ground. That's Tiandra Williams, upended by guess who? Kendria Robinson.
She could totally be the game MVP. She plays with heart. Every player needs to watch this girl play football because that's how it's done.
2nd and 8 now. This should be the final play before the 2-minute warning. Ball at the 13 of Austin. This is Dakota Hughes rolling left, trying to find a run lane, nothing doing. Kendria Robinson all over it, and that will take us to our 2-minute warning here in Austin, Texas. A game where the hometown Acoustic trying to hold on, leading 12-7. Back to LFL football night, and next week we head to La La Land, Los Angeles, as the Chicago Bliss battle the Los Angeles Temptation.
Cannot wait for that one. Jane Caldwell having a heck of a year. She's playing quarterback better than she ever has.
A 3rd and 8 for this Atlanta offense. They're going to go back to the ground. That's Williams being hog tackled by Brittany Dowdy. And that ball may have came loose. That is Jessica Salazar on it. We'll see if they call this a fumble. An interesting call. They're going to stay on the ground with Williams here.
That does not look good. She got thrown to the ground. I saw her leg get twisted. Heck of a play by Dowdy, but this does not look good for Williams.
Williams is favoring that left
Timeout
knee.
for an injured player.
And you could hear the Atlanta players complaining about a horse collar. That wasn't a horse collar. That was just a very aggressive tackle by Brittany Dowdy. And perhaps, we'll get a look at this on a replay, but perhaps Williams' knee gets caught in the turf here.
That's what it looked like. It's a legal hit. That's not a horse collar. She gets twisted underneath. It looks like exactly what happened. Watch her knee. That does not look good. You can see a guy with 7 knee operations. Trust me, that's her knee.
Hang in there, T. Hang in there, hang in there. I know.
Encouraging words from head coach Dane Robinson. And you could see that entire Atlanta bench acknowledging the injury. What a blow to otherwise a great debut game for Tiandra Williams. And that's a sight you never want to see on a football field. They have the stretcher out.
Coach, is that mom and dad?
Yes, that's mom and dad.
Do they need anything?
No, I just want to make sure that nobody's going to fuss with them being back there or anything.
No, not at all. Hey, but if they need to go to a hospital, if they need something, just tell me.
We're going to follow the protocol and everything there.
That is head coach Mike Oliveira and Dane Robinson just showing you the family atmosphere within the LFL, not just amongst the coaching staffs, but the athletes. We saw it last week, unfortunately, when Bria Quintana went down from Denver. Everybody acknowledged it. You gotta love that camaraderie we're seeing out on the field.
Nobody on either team wants to see anybody get hurt. Yeah, they got in fights tonight. It's a street fight. They'll throw punches at each other. But this hit right here, it's a legal hit. She just twisted her knee underneath, and it's not good when that happens. That could be illegal. Who knows what it's going to be, but it's not good. But trust me, nobody on that Austin team wanted to hurt her.
That's Tiandra Williams being helped onto the stretcher. And you could see this Austin crowd acknowledging her. A tough way for her to go out. What an evening she had as the entire bench clears for Atlanta coming over. It's part of the game, partner. People get hurt. You certainly had your fair share of injuries with the Gators and with the Tampa Bay Bucks, but you never get used to this sight.
No, it's part. You're right. It's part of the game. You know it's part of the game. That's why you play football. You hate when it happens, but everybody knows the potential and the possibility is there to get hurt, and hopefully it's not that serious.
A knee injury is something certainly she can come back from. And what a debut game for Tiandra Williams. Knowing Atlanta now, if she gets a chance to return, they've got a heck of a backup to Christelle Harris.
Absolutely. Right there, coming off the field, you can see she wasn't in the immediate pain she was after the hit. That's a good sign. We'll see what the doctors say.
Meanwhile, back to action. This is a vital 4th and 4. If Atlanta's going to get back in this game, they've got to convert. And this could be a free play. That looked like Austin jumped into the end zone. Touchdown! What a throw and catch. Dakota Hughes finding Lauren Ziegler in the back of the end zone.
Chugging a beer. Lauren Ziegler, the Hall of Famer, catching a pass from all fantasy quarterback. This is what they do. Big players make big plays in big games. How many times have we seen Ziegler do this? Dakota Hughes, watch the precision of this pass. Threads the needle. I don't know how it got through. And Ziegler comes up with it with a knee right in her chest for a touchdown. The cardiac kid, Dakota Hughes, has struck again.
Now, we've seen Dakota Hughes play a lot of football dating back to 2013, her rookie season, making some miraculous plays. I don't think I've ever seen her as sharp as she's been tonight. Now the extra point attempt. Keon Harrison airborne into the end zone. So Atlanta regaining the lead late here in the 4th quarter, 14-12.
Keon Harrison, head coach Dane Robinson told me about her. It's the just step up theory. Christelle Harris not playing tonight. Williams just got hurt. This is the third team back, but she can play. He compared her to Marshawn Lynch.
Keon Harrison, very destructive on the defensive side of the ball, now making a difference with that extra point attempt. All the pressure in the world back on the shoulders of number 10, Tashay Winfrey. Austin does have a timeout, a minute 36 remaining. From the 15, Winfrey back to pass, and short hops it. That was an ugly looking pass intended for Leilani Lopez.
Winfrey, she pretty much just threw that one away. You know what, teed up again. But we talk about Winfrey, and is she a elite quarterback? Can she get to the next level? Well, we're gonna see right here. This is where you have to come through somehow, some way.
You want to talk about a test, this is it. Against a pretty good Atlanta defense, this is Winfrey back to pass, wide open! That is Michelle Marshall, and the two connect for 18 yards as the clock continues to run here.
What a throw by Winfrey. She moved the safeties with her eyes, then came back underneath the Marshall. They're moving the football.
So a 1st and 10, ball at the Atlanta 17. Plenty of time. Austin does have a timeout here. Into the flat again at the feet of Leilani Lopez.
All kinds of time in the pocket. Winfrey could have held on to it until somebody got open, but she threw it away.
You saw the frustration from Lopez saying, get the football up, give me an opportunity to make a play. 2nd and 10 at the Atlanta 17. Winfrey from the shotgun. This is a design quarterback keeper. Not gonna get a lot. That is 3 yards, and worse for Austin. That's gonna keep the clock running.
There was no chance for that to break for a big gainer. A quarterback draw with less than a minute, not a good call.
A 3rd and 7, ball at the Atlanta 14. Back to pass and dropped. You don't see that often from Leilani Lopez. She had some green grass ahead of her. She could have made a move there.
You have to concentrate. Focus drop right there. Catch the ball first, then get out of bounds.
We do have a penalty on this play.
Encroachment on Atlanta, number 2. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 3rd down.
That is the 3rd encroachment penalty of the 4th quarter for this Atlanta defense. That'll give Austin a very manageable 3rd and 2 now. Ball at the Atlanta 9-yard line. Winfrey back to pass, not seeing anything, gonna take off with it. And lunging toward the sticks.
Great move to get outside the rush of Demery. She's got a chance here to get in the end zone. Great tackle, bringing her down by Salazar.
Now this is interesting. They stopped the clock, but Austin still electing to call its final timeout of the half.
Timeout, Austin. Their 2nd and final timeout of the half.
With 33 seconds remaining and no timeouts, it'll be interesting, the scheme that Austin applies here. In fact, because of that, we're going to take you down to the field.
If you don't, listen to me, listen. If you don't get it, you got to come right back and run 33 sweep and go score.
Mike Oliveira telling his team 2 plays are called. 33 seconds left. If it doesn't score, get up on the line and run the other play. But the clock will be running. They have no timeouts left.
A 1st and goal, ball at the 6. Buckle in, here we go. No, we've got another timeout here.
Timeout, Atlanta. Their first timeout of the half. Timeout, Atlanta. Their first timeout of the half.
You could see Dane Robinson wanted to see the setup for Austin.
I need 4 bad bitches up in the gap.
Watch the releases.
You can't let them outside. You can't. Once again, we own them. So when they snap the football, get on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Finish the game!
It's a chess match right now between the head coaches. You're exactly right. That's exactly why Dane Robinson called the timeout, to see how they're going to line up. Now, I'm sure Mike Oliveira probably changed the play.
A 1st and goal from the 6. This is going to be a toss right to Kendria Robinson. Evading defenders and trying to get out of bounds. Does not get out of bounds. This clock will continue to run.
She should have stayed with the play. She could have outrun Salazar. There was downfield blocking. There was a play there. She cut it back. Bad play.
And now Austin just hoping to kill the clock. They'll do that with 11 seconds remaining. I'm not sure why you're going to call a draw play there with no timeouts.
I don't understand either. They have a good running game, but they have one of the best passers in the league and great receivers, which will stop the clock or score a touchdown.
Now you've got 11 seconds and 2 plays at the end zone. Do you risk another run play, or does everything have to go into the end zone at this point?
You have to throw the ball. If you keep it on the ground, you might run out of time like you did at the end of the first half.
A 3rd and goal, and all the pressure in this building, again, is resting on the shoulders of number 10, Tashay Winfrey.
This is where Winfrey has to make a name for herself and come up with a play somehow.
3rd and goal, ball at the Atlanta 7. Here we go. And just leading Leilani Lopez a bit much. So this entire game for Austin and potentially the season comes down to one 4th and goal play here.
Winfrey made the right pre-snap read. There was no safety in the middle. One-on-one coverage with Leilani Lopez. Lopez has to win that. One-on-one with a quick post. That should have been 6 points.
So here is the season for Austin. If they drop to 0-2, they are out of the playoff race. A 4th and goal. Unbelievable. A false start.
False start, number 6, Austin. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Now they called Leilani Lopez, but that looked like Brandy Stolte may have jumped on the end of the line. That'll back him up now to the 12-yard line. Who do you go to here?
You got to go to your stars, either Lopez or Michelle Marshall. But you're right, Stolte cannot do that. That's the 2nd time in a key situation she jumped tonight.
Austin has its Smurfs, its small wide receivers flanked out. It looks like Marshall and Robinson at the top of your screen and Leilani Lopez at the bottom. A crossing pattern, connecting! Are you kidding me? Austin, do you believe in miracles?
Wow, Michelle Marshall proving that not all heroes wear capes. Unbelievable, they scored.
Look at the energy in the end zone. Now we still have 2 seconds remaining. That seemed to be just a slant pattern to Marshall hitting her in stride, and number 14 taking it in from there.
You don't know how good that was and how much guts you have to have. Michelle Marshall on the slant. Alfie Gore is there. The safety is right in the middle of the field. She could light that up, but Michelle Marshall kept coming, caught it on the 3 and got in.
And you saw the heartbreak on the face of Dane Robinson. His defense, an opportunity there to hold him from a 4th and goal conversion, and you could see there.
This crowd is in a frenzy. Michelle Marshall put him in that frenzy. I haven't seen Austin like this since Vince Young won the national championship. Incredible.
The look on Michelle Marshall's face, the improbable drive from Tashay Winfrey, and what a first win this could potentially be for head coach Mike Oliveira.
They needed this so bad to get on the board, get off the schneid.
Dane Robinson now challenging that Michelle Marshall touchdown. I'm not sure there was much to challenge unless she didn't get into the end zone.
Atlanta is challenging the ruling on the play of a touchdown.
So this will be interesting. From our vantage point, it looked like Michelle Marshall actually landed on the Atlanta defender, which would still have her in play, and then just got into the end zone, as we could see here.
She caught it on the 3, and I don't think there's any question. Yeah, they all got bunched up and thrown, but she got thrown in the end zone.
And that was a quick review by Jason Gardner.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Atlanta is charged their 2nd and final timeout. We'll play the extra point.
Jason Gardner confirming The Michelle Marshall touchdown. Now let's talk about Atlanta. They've got 2.5 seconds remaining. Who do you target? Certainly Dakota Hughes has the arm to get it down the field.
You are correct. She has the arm to throw the length of the field. Two great receivers, but one of them is a Hall of Famer. Lauren Ziegler, who's came up with unbelievable catches her whole career. And if Fezekai, she has a lot of drops. I go to Ziegler.
Now the extra point attempt by Austin. This crowd is loving it right now. That is Tashay Winfrey trying to go up the gut of that defense. No good. And of course, what would a fourth quarter be here without another flag?
Encroachment, number 2, Atlanta. Half the distance to the goal, replay the try.
I'm bad at math, but I think that's now 4 encroachment penalties on that Atlanta defense.
If I was Tashay Winfrey, now they only need like a couple feet. I would do the same play. There's no way they stop a quarterback sneak.
Winfrey is a large-statured quarterback going over a pretty big center in Steph McCormick. That's what they're going to try, but good tackle. Look at the surge by that interior defense of Atlanta. That looks to be Amber Clark and Alfie Gore at the bottom of that pile. So a good stop, but nonetheless, Atlanta needs a touchdown either way.
I would say this game is over, except Atlanta's quarterback is Dakota Hughes. That's how she got her nickname, her rookie year, by coming up with unbelievable plays to win games.
The cardiac kid, number 18, we talked about it earlier, has one of the stronger arms in the league. So no question that she can get this into the end zone. You've got Lauren Ziegler and Jolie Fezekai, 2 great targets. And she's gonna have to throw it the length of the field, winding down. And completed!
What?
Unbelievable! Dakota Hughes finding Jolie Fezekai.
No, you gotta review it. No, you gotta review it. You gotta review it. You gotta review it. You gotta review it.
They are not gonna give her a touchdown. That is Dane Robinson saying you've gotta review it. It's inside of 2 minutes, so now it becomes a booth review.
That might have been the most unbelievable play, unexpected play in the history of the league, and what a catch by a Fezekai.
By rule, the officials can review the final play. That's what will happen.
Let's take another look at this from the truck.
I'm not sure why Austin did not pressure the quarterback. She has all day long to wind up and just throw it as far as she can. Fezekai should have been triple teamed. I don't even know how she comes up with this football. Into the crowd, she catches it. The question is she in the end zone?
They're gonna mark her short at about the half-yard line. Her momentum just took her out of bounds. And I think that might be it. The official word now from Jason Gardner.
After the review, the ruling on the field stands. The game is over.
Wow. What a disheartening moment for the Atlanta Steam, and for that gentleman, his first ever LFL win as a head coach. Congrats, Mike Oliveira.
Mike Oliveira deserves it. He is one whale of a coach. He just hasn't won tonight, and what a way to win. You beat the team that went to the Legends Cup Finals last year.
Michelle Marshall has got to be on cloud 9. Just look at the emotion on the Austin side. They came into this game as a heavy underdog to Atlanta, and unbelievably, when they needed it, a championship-like drive.
Right now, Atlanta is in shock. Austin just came out and shocked the world. In this street fight, they came out on top and came up with a bigger play.
And this has got to be a major notch for Tashay Winfrey. And that'll do it for us, partner. Here from Austin, Texas, the most entertaining and thrilling game I think we've called in a long time. Both teams going back and forth. Ultimately, Austin, with its defense and the quarterback play of Tashay Winfrey, the heroics of Michelle Marshall, win it 18-14 for my partner Bobby Huco. This is Mitch Mortaza. We will see you next week on LFL Football Night.